Numbers are quite easy to play with when we are comparing. Strings, on the other hand, are a nightmare, complete nightmare. There is, let's just go to Google for a second. There is a whole branch of programming called string handling. There we go, string handling in Python. What's either called string handling or string manipulation, and it's the same in any language, but as you can see here, the majority of the stuff is for Python, so there's plenty of information about it for you. But string handling means exactly what it says, handling strings. They are very, very difficult and we need to know what we're doing. So let's run this program again. And this time what I'm going to type in is Fred. Now we did it before, Fred, Eric, now I've got Fred. However, this time I'm going to get this message, I don't know who you are, even though my name is Fred. There we go. So maybe you've spotted the difference already, maybe you haven't, and if you haven't, I'll explain. This time I have typed in Fred with a capital F, and I've compared it with Fred with a lowercase f. So if I do that here in the shell, Fred is equal to Fred lowercase f, the answer is false. And that's my problem, because people, when they're sort of typing in, when we're asking them for a string and they're typing things in, people who use computers are just not going to be sensible at all. They're going to type anything in whatsoever. They might type Fred with a capital F, they might type Fred with a capital R, they might type it all in uppercase, and all of those are going to fail. I know we've got error messages here, that's got nothing to do with the program, just because I didn't do anything with Fred. They're going to be typing it in any way that they can think of. Now in the lesson I gave you one way of sort of managing that. If we always do our comparisons in lowercase, then whatever the user types in, I could just put dot lower, open and close parenthesis, on the end of the input, and whatever they type in will convert it all to lowercase. So this time when I run my program and I type Fred with a capital F, it says your name is Fred, because it's converted that Fred all into lowercase, so it's now Fred. Or I could do it the other way around. I could compare it with uppercase, so instead of having lower, I could compare it with uppercase, so convert whatever the user types in into uppercase. So if I now compare that with Fred all in uppercase, that will also work nicely. So run module, and if I type Fred all in lowercase, it converts it to uppercase, compares it against the uppercase version of Fred, and prints your name is Fred. However, that still is not the end of my problem, because as I said, users could type in anything. So for example, if I run the module and if I type space Fred space, it looks like Fred, it certainly isn't Fred. It says I don't know who you are, because I've got a space at the front and I've got a space at the end. So when I say string handling, what I mean is that we need to look at what the user's typed and handle it. So in other words, I would want to get rid of that space at the front and the space at the end to be able to compare it. And we find that string handling and inputting strings is quite difficult. It's going to take up the majority of our time. We call it validation. So we make sure that whatever somebody types in is valid. So for example, username, when you type into your computer to log in, it needs to be exact. We can't have a space at the end, otherwise it won't know who you are and won't let you log in. Same with your password, it has to match exactly otherwise you can't log in. So in the next video I'm going to take a look at this comparison operator and do some weird things with it, particularly with strings.